Welcome to the notes on point slope form. So point slope form, the name tells you what you need. If you know a point and you know the slope, we can put it into this form. So here's our ordered pair. That's our point. And in this case, our point that we'd be using would be x1 comma y1. So it's y minus y1, or it's the opposite of y1. Since this was positive, it's a minus. And then here is our x1 here. So y minus y1 equals the slope. There's our m times this parentheses x minus x1, or the opposite of x1. So if we have a point or slope, we put it in a point slope. Why do we use it? Here's the biggest thing. We use point slope form to put it into slope intercept form. And if you remember, that's y equals mx plus b. So we're going to transform the point slope and get it into y equals. That's the goal. Let's take a look at an example. So there it is. Write an equation in slope intercept form. If the slope is negative 2/3, there's our slope, and here is our point 3, negative 4. So if you want to put, that's your x1, y1. So here we go. Let's plug it in. There's our form up there. You guys can see it. So it's y. Now it's minus y1. So it's minus, but in this, since y1 is a negative 4, again, it's the opposite of negative 4, which will become a plus 4. So if you see a plus, you know that number is negative. That equals our slope, which is negative 2/3, negative 2 over 3. And then we've got our parentheses times x. Now it's minus, or the opposite of x1, in this case, which is 3. So there's our formula. Now we want to use point slope to get into slope intercept form. So I'll scroll down here. I'm going to rewrite this thing. So we've got y plus 4 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 3. All right, I want to get y by itself. We don't like fractions, so here's what you got to do to get rid of fractions. You've got to multiply each side by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3, and I'm also going to multiply this side by 3. Well, when I do that, that's going to cancel out here. And on this side, I'm going to have to distribute. So I'm going to end up with 3y plus 12. Now that's going to equal over here. I still have this negative 2. So that negative sign I keep at the top number. So it's negative 2 times x minus 3. Distribute and solve. So distribute here. So when I do that, I'm going to have 3y plus 12 equals minus 2x. Negative times a negative becomes plus 6. Again, just getting y by itself. Subtract 12. Subtract 12. When I do that, I'm going to have 3y equals negative 2x plus 6 minus 12 is negative 6. And then one more step. Divide by, again, I want to get rid of that 3, but again, got to divide every term by that 3. So our final answer will be y equals, so we got y by itself, which is what we want, minus 2/3. There's our slope. It doesn't reduce. There's our x, and then minus 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So we took our point slope form and we got it into slope intercept form. Take one more quick example here. Now these ones will take a little bit more steps, okay? They're giving 2 points. We got to write the equation in slope intercept form. So I'm going to kind of break it down by steps. Step 1. All right, we need to find slope. Find the slope of the 2 points. So remember, that's m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So again, call one of them your x1, y1, call one of them your x2, y2, and then solve for the slope. So here we go. M equals y2, which is negative 8. All right, minus, all right, y1, which is a minus 3. So we know that's going to become plus 3. And then that's going to be over x2, which is 4, minus, all right, a 4 minus 8, which is our x1. So then we simply solve for that. Negative 8 plus 3, well, that's going to be negative 5. And then 4 minus 8, which is negative 4. So negative divided by negative, that's going to be 5 over 4. It's going to be positive. So there's our slope. Okay, step 2 now. So now we got the slope and we got points up there. So step 2 is going to be, all right, pick either point. Pick either point, that's point, all right, and put it into point slope form. So we got our slope. We're going to pick either point, put it into point slope form. So remember that form. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So pick either point. I'm going to pick the first one. Why not? It doesn't really matter which one. We'll pick 8, negative 3. So I'll kind of write that here. 8, negative 3. That's the point I'm going to be using. So here we go. Y minus y1. Well, y1, it's minus a minus 3. So that we know it becomes plus 3. Equals our slope, we said was 5 over 4. And then we've got our parentheses x minus, and then this opposite of 8, which is minus 8. So there's our equation. It's a fraction. Remember, if we got a fraction, we're going to multiply each side by 4. So I'm going to multiply this side by 4, multiply each side by the denominator, multiply this side by 4. That'll cancel out there. And then I still have the 5 on top that I need to distribute to this side, just like the last example. Okay, so once we've got it in point slope form, our final step then is just solve for y. So my third step, step 3, is just getting y by itself, getting that form y equals. And that's what I'm doing here. So 4y plus 12 equals, now distribute this 5x minus 40. Subtract 12. Subtract 12. So we're going to end up with 4y equals 5x. All right, minus 52. 40 minus 12 is minus 52. All right. And then we're going to divide every term by 4. All right, so when we do that, we're going to get y equals 5, 4x, and then that's minus 13. That's in slope-intercept form. So that's how you use point slope form to get it into slope-intercept form.